Dominate Google Maps, 8 proven strategies. A few months ago, Google made a quiet change that is reshaping the rules for every home service contractor in this country. Paid ads inside Google Map Pack increased by 730%. In a matter of months, what used to be almost entirely organic space, where the best businesses won, is now being bought out by private equity-backed companies bidding aggressively for top spots. And here's the paradox. That makes organic positioning more valuable right now than it has ever been, because the contractors who dominate organic local search are capturing clients who trust more, convert better, and cost $0 per click. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 8 strategies we use at OUTWORK'em Digital to get our clients into the top 3 map pack and keep them there. Roofers, plumbers, electricians, pest control, restoration, whatever you do in home services, this applies directly to your business. But first, I need you to understand something, because most contractors have this completely backwards. Most people think the map pack is a reviews contest. The one with the most reviews wins. And for years, that was roughly true. But the algorithm evolved. Google now evaluates something more complex, what they call vitality of your business. Not just how good you were, but how active and relevant you are right now. It is the difference between a business that exists and a business that operates. And that changes everything about the strategy. There are 8 specific factors Google is looking at right now. Let's go through each one. There is one factor inside those 8 that moves more positions than almost anything else will. I will give it to you in the strategy too, but you need to understand the foundation first. Strategy 1, your Google business profile. The foundation of everything is your Google business profile. And I do not mean having it filled out. I mean actively using it as a positioning tool. Your primary service category is not decorative. It is the most direct instruction you give to Google about who you are and which searches you should appear for. If you are a roofer, are you the post-storm emergency specialist or the planned replacement company? That distinction matters because Google will show you to whoever is searching for exactly that. If you are a plumber, are you emergencies, strength, or remodeling? If you handle HVAC, your category should change with the season. Air conditioning in the summer, heating in the winter, capturing the exact searches happening at that moment. The right category at the right moment is the difference between showing up and being invisible to half of your potential clients. And beyond the category, your profile needs real photos updated consistently. Branded trucks, uniformed technicians, completed jobs. Google reads those updates as signals that you are an active business today, not one that existed last year. The factor that moves the algorithm the most. Here's what I promised you. Reviews are still one of the most critical factors in the map pack. They control between 20 and 25% of your position authority. That has not changed. What's changed is how they are weighted. 2026 algorithm does not reward who has the most reviews. It rewards who receives them most consistently. The data is clear. A business generating between 3 and 5 genuine reviews every month ranks between 40 and 60% higher than a competitor with 300 accumulated reviews but not recent activity. Because Google does not want to show you someone who was good, it wants to show you someone who is good right now. But there's something else. The algorithm reads the text of every review looking for semantic context. A review that says great service is worth far less than someone that says they fixed the burst pipe in under 2 hours, the technician explained every step, and the price was exactly what they quoted. That second review is teaching Google what service you provided, in what area, and with what results. That means you need a system, not begging each client after a slow month. An automated process that requests the review at the exact moment the client is most satisfied, with a direct link that makes leaving it in 30 seconds easy for them. For every job, no exceptions. Building that system correctly is more complex than it looks, but the impact on your rankings is immediate and compounds over time. Strategy 3, hyperlocal content. This is going to sound counterintuitive. Stay with me. Most contractors have a page on their website that reads something like, we serve these cities, and then a list. Dallas, Plano, Frisco, McKinley, Allen. They think that gives them presence in all those areas. That page is actively hurting them in all those same cities at the same time. I know what you're thinking. If I remove that list, will I stop showing up in those cities? It is exactly the opposite. A dedicated page for each city gives you more presence in each one, not less. Google does not reward you for mentioning a city, it rewards you for being relevant to that city. And there's a massive difference between those two things. Google does not look at your profile in isolation. It reads your entire website to understand your geographic relevance. A list of cities tells it nothing. What tells it something is a complete specific page dedicated to each city you serve. An entire Frisco page with jobs completed in Frisco, with references to specific Frisco neighborhoods, with testimonials from Frisco clients. When someone searches roofers in Frisco, Google compares your dedicated Frisco page against your competitor's generic city list. That is not a fair fight, and that is exactly what you want. The same applies by service. Not one generic service page, a dedicated page for each specific service, optimized for that service in your specific areas. That is what Google calls domain relevance, and it is what teaches the algorithm that you are the go-to contractor for your trade in your market. Strategy number 4, citations. This strategy carries less weight than it used to, but it still matters, especially if you are building your presence from scratch. Citations are your business listings on directories, Yelp, Angie's List, Home Advisor, Yellow Pages. What matters here is one single thing: your name, address, and phone number must be exactly identical across every platform. Not street, S-T-R-E-E-T, on one and street, S-T, on another. Not parentheses around the area code in one place and dashes in another. Exactly identical. Google compares those pieces like a puzzle. If they all match perfectly, they confirm you are a real established business. If they conflict, they generate an algorithmic doubt that quietly costs you positions. This attention to detail can unlock visibility you have been losing for months without even knowing it. Strategy 5, local link building. This is what separates the contractor in position 1 from the one in position 8. Watching from the outside, and almost nobody ever talks about this, Google's local search algorithm is different from its national algorithm. For local searches, one of the most powerful signals is links from other websites inside your city or service area pointing to yours. Why? Because Google is trying to answer one question: is this business genuinely integrated into this community, or does it just have an address here? The highest return tactic here, and the one that costs $0, is building alliances with complementary contractors in your area. If you are an electrician, build relationships with plumbers, roofers, HVAC companies, businesses that serve the same client but do not compete with you. Create trusted partners pages and link to each other. Google sees a network of established, connected local businesses, and it rewards that. But here's what most people miss. It is not just about getting the link. It is about the architecture of how those pages are built, what they say, how they are optimized. That is the difference between a link that moves positions and one that does nothing. Strategy number 6, site speed. If your site takes more than 2 seconds to load, you are losing clients before they see your phone number. The mechanism is direct. Google tracks what happens after someone clicks your result. If your page takes 8 seconds to load and the visitor bounces immediately, Google reads that as a signal that your site is not a good result and it drops you. Most contractor websites are slow, uncompressed images, heavy code, cheap hosting. That is an advantage for whoever fixes it first in their market because they immediately outperform the majority of their local competition. On this factor, without doing anything else, your load time needs to be under 2 seconds. Your site needs to be secure with HTTPS, and navigation needs to be simple with clear call to action buttons visible without scrolling. Speed is not just a technical issue. It is the first message you send to a client about how efficient it is to work with you. Strategy number 7, social signals. This data point changes how you see everything that came before it. 66% of people who see a positive review about your business then go look up your social media to verify you are real. Think about what that means. Your review generation system, which we just covered in strategy 2, is actively sending traffic to your social profiles. If what they find is an abandoned page with the last post from 2 years ago, that positive review just worked against you. Social media became your second sales page. And like every sales page, it is not enough to just exist. It needs a strategy. What to post, how often, in what format, with what narrative, measured against what results. The difference between a social presence that builds trust and one that creates doubt is not what you film it with. It is knowing exactly what story to tell and how to tell it to turn a visitor into a phone call. Strategy 8, schema markup. Most contractors have never heard of this. The ones who implement it correctly are dominating their markets, while their competition cannot figure out why. Schema markup is code added to your website that tells Google exactly what your business is about. Instead of the algorithm trying to figure out whether you are a water damage restoration company or a general repairs contractor, schema tells it directly. This is Smith Restoration. We handle water and fire damage. We serve these specific neighborhoods. Our emergency service hours are these. Google rewards that with better rankings and with rich snippets. Those enhanced listings that show your rating and hours directly in the search results before the client even clicks. It is a technical advantage that requires precise implementation, but the return and visibility is direct and measurable. These 8 strategies are not optional if you want to compete in the map pack in 2026. The market got sophisticated. Private equity-backed companies are investing in exactly this systematically, but here's the reality. Most independent contractors are not doing half of these 8 things right, which means the window to take a dominant position in your market is still open. The question is not whether it is worth it. The question is whether you have the time and the team to execute all of it as an integrated system while also managing crews, estimates, and clients. That is what we built OUTWORK'em Digital for. We work exclusively with home service companies. We understand your seasons, your competition, your local market. We handle all of this so you can focus on what you do best. Go to OUTWORK'em.digital.com and book a strategy call. No pressure. We review your current situation and tell you exactly what is holding back your visibility. If this video gave you value, hit like and subscribe. We drop tactical content like this every week. See you in the next one.